бой Ислам Махачев против Магдалены. От тебя прозвучало о том, что это будет самый тяжелый бой в карьере Ислама. Почему?
Ну, мы не можем сразу все карты раскрывать, потому что наши соперники тоже нас слушают. Но скажу так, что я давно слежу за Магдаленой. Он как боец очень интересный.
Boy, Islam Makhachev is training in full flow alongside Khabib Nurmagomedov for his upcoming fight against Jack Dilla Maddalena. Islam doesn't want to leave any stone unturned in his preparation as he wants to get a second UFC belt. Khabib is also helping out Islam as he knows how dangerous JDM can be at welterweight. Earlier Khabib Murmur may have admitted that Jack Dilla Maddalena could be Islam's toughest test yet. Even more than past opponents like Charles Oliveira or Ilia Topuria. He highlighted JDM's size, strength, sharp boxing, and solid grappling, saying that preparing for him would be a tougher and more exciting challenge than facing Ilia.
Что Магдалена самый сложный соперник в ислама карьере. Мое мнение. Ни Чарльз, никто. Ни один из этих бойцов.
И даже не Илья, если бы это бой был бы.
Ну, мое личное мнение, во-первых, Магдалена 2 раза больше, чем Илья.
Сопоставим.
Илья. Вот. Он 2 раза больше. Он выше, больше, ноги помощнее, корпус, бокс не хуже. И грэпплинг он возится очень хорошо, если вы смотрели. Ну, для меня, если я буду, например, буду готовить Ислама против Илья или Магдалены, для меня больше будет волновать и волнует Магдалена.
Now, Khabib Nurmagomedov explains why he believes Jack Dilla Maddalena is the toughest test of Islamich's career. He says he's been following JDM for a long time and sees him as a very interesting fighter with sharp skills, strong technique, and dangerous striking. Khabib also points out that Maddalena has already faced some big-name opponents who are strong wrestlers and he handled those challenges well. Gilbert. Khabib says Jack Maddalena has already proven himself by beating opponents with long range, strong wrestlers, powerful strikers, and physically tough fighters. He points out that JDM has passed every test going 9-0 in the UFC and also trains with the same team that prepared Alexander Volkanovski for Islam. Putting it all together, Khabib is a very dangerous opponent. Khabib analyzes the welterweight division ahead of Islam Makhachev's debut. He sees Shaftkit as the most dangerous challenge while Bolid Muhammad and Jack Maddalena also bring serious risks. On the other hand, he doesn't consider Ian Gary or Sean Brady major threats, believing Islam would outstrike and control them with ease. 4. Foreign. Islam Makhachev responded to naming Jack Maddalena as his toughest opponent yet. When asked if JDM posed a bigger challenge than fighters like Volkanovski or Poirier, Islam acknowledged that size could make things interesting, but quickly dismissed any doubts. He admitted JDM can be dangerous if given space to strike, but promised to drag him into deep waters, wear him down, and impose his trademark style of control. For Islam explained. And why Khabib called Jack Dilla Maddalena his toughest test, saying it comes down to the move to welterweight. He noted that stepping up from lightweight to 170 brings new sparring partners, different preparations, and challenges they have never faced before, which is why Khabib views JDM as such a dangerous fight. Leon Murphy shared his thoughts on Makhachev versus Jack Dilla Maddalena. He admitted it was a tough fight to call, noting that JDM is a bigger guy with strong scrambles. Murphy questioned whether Islam's size would be enough at welterweight and said they'll have to wait and see. What's your prediction for JDM and Islam Makhachev? I don't know. It's hard to I don't know. I think JDM could scramble them. He's a bigger guy. I don't know. It's hard to say. Islam big enough? Is he going to be able to? Let's see. On the other hand, there are rumors that Islam will fight JDM at UFC 322. But Ilia Topuria has also hinted that he's going to fight at UFC 322 against Justin Gaethje. Yesterday, Ilia Topuria's manager shared a post where he hinted at a fight between Ilia and Justin at UFC 322. Meanwhile, Jel Sonnen claims that Ilia Topuria fighting Paddy Pimblett would be a bigger event than a potential clash with Islam Makhachev at this moment. He explains that while Islam vs Ilia could eventually grow into a huge fight with the right build-up, right now it doesn't have to pull people think it does. Son argues that Topuria vs Pimblett would actually draw more attention and do a bigger gate. Given Paddy's star power, he adds that if Islam has a title wrapped around his waist, then the conversation might change. Islam and Ilia is not this massive fight that people are trying to make believe it is. It could with a little bit of time. I'm just sharing for you. Those guys are a little bit too close to the trees to see the forest. Ilia Topuria vs Paddy the Baddy does a bigger gate than Ilia Topuria vs Islam. Right now. You put a belt around Islam, maybe we're having a different conversation. However, Arman Tsarukyan doesn't agree with that as he believes he deserves to fight for the title first. Arman even blasted Paddy Pimblett's rise in the rankings, arguing that he didn't even deserve a spot in the top 10. He criticized Paddy's resume, noting that his recent wins came against opponents on losing streaks or past their prime. Arman said pushing someone with that record into a title fight would be a bad look for the sport. You got to delete him from the rankings even. He's not even deserve it to be in top 10. He beat last 3 guys. Chandler, he had 3 losses. It was, Bobby Green, he had 3-4 losses. It was Tony Ferguson, he had 8 loses. That's crazy. And like you want to bring that guy to fight for the title is and all. 8 and all. 2 and all. Oh, that's pretty bad when you put it that Kamaru Usman also doesn't like the idea of Paddy Pimblett jumping the line for a title shot, calling it unfair to fighters who have already proven themselves. He pointed to contenders such as Arman Tsarukyan, Justin G.I., Dan Hooker, Matthew Gamrot, and Ben Nile. Darius is far more deserving based on their resumes and level of competition. Usman admitted Paddy has looked good against his opposition, but stressed that title shots should be earned through merit, not hype. It's not Paddy's fault. Paddy has done a great job with the opposition he's been given to even put himself in this conversation. Paddy has done a phenomenal job. But if we're looking at the lightweight rankings, we've got Ilyusha and I'm assuming next you've got Arman Tsarukyan. It makes sense if you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje. I don't know why Islam is still there. But if you're not going to do a Arman Tsarukyan or you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, then yes, you've got Dan Hooker there, you've got Mateusz Gamrot, you've got all these Benil Dariush there in front of Paddy Pimblett. So to skip all of these guys to just give him a title shot that kind of spits in the face of the merit of the best fights the next best guy. Renadu kind of says he's not impressed with Arman Tsarukyan's skills and believes the lightweight contender is overrated. He predicts that Ilia Topuria would completely dominate Tsarukyan if they ever fought, explaining that Topuria's style and power would overwhelm him. Myo also adds that while he is nothing personal against Arman, he's not the type of person he would ever want to be friends with. Okay. Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan also revealed he wants to fight in October or November and has already spoken with Dana White about potential opponents. He said the UFC is looking at matchups in Abu Dhabi or Qatar with Justin G.I., Dan Hooker and Paddy Pimblett on the table. Sir Rick Khan doesn't like Paddy but admitted for getting the title shot. His top choice is Paddy Pimblett. MHM, Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi. However, Paddy Pimblett took a sharp dig at Arman Tsarukyan and other lightweights, mocking Arman for offering money just to secure a fight and calling it desperate. He then turned his attention to Ilia Topuria, saying that regardless of the rankings, that was still the matchup he wanted most. Paddy also brushed off Dan Hooker, claiming his recent comments cost him respect and left him with no interest in facing him. Also kept getting asked this weekend was who you fighting, when are you fighting earlier? When are you fighting earlier? I have no idea. Hopefully it is going to be me versus the Chitsto next. And I think that's what all the Americans want cause every American I bump into keeps saying when you going to smash that sausage's head in. I'm hoping that gets sorted. But I understand that I am ranked 9 or something. So other people probably are more deserving. But Posh Boy definitely isn't. Little Rich Boy showing how desperate he is. Offering him £1 million to fight him. Spoiled rich baby trying to pay the way out of things. That's why he quit when he was making weight in a bath like a little errant. No one cares about him. As I always say, I've got nothing but respect for Justin. But I keep seeing an interview him saying he doesn't want to fight me. I think the only fight to make me, and I seen Dan Upper talking, ___ the day as well. I used to like Dan era. Now you can eat, ___ On the other hand, Khabib makes it clear that he doesn't see Ilia Topuria having any chance against Arman Srone. He explains that Arman has developed into a complete fighter using range, distance control, and sharp kicks to neutralize strikers. With more experience and plenty of footage to study, Srokin has become far more dangerous than he was a few years ago. Khabib believes Diora's style wouldn't translate well against someone so well-rounded. And right now, he views Srokin as the best lightweight in the division. Music. Khabib is confident that Arman Sorokin would be an 8,020 favorite over Ilia Topuria. He explains that Arman's edge comes from his complete MMA game, not just his wrestling with takedowns, elbows, grappling, and submissions. So, Sorokin has multiple ways to control the fight. Khabib adds that Arman has become smarter with experience, studying opponents closely and avoiding reckless exchanges. He also highlights Sorokin's size advantage, noting that his high strength and constant pressure would make him the bigger and more dominating fighter on fight night. Trade is a cheat. Meanwhile, UFC pros are excited to see Islam vs JDM at the moment and have shared their predictions for this fight. Craig Jones declared that Islam Makhachev's next test could be his toughest yet, highlighting Jack Della Madalena's